Hi, I'm Jack Shaw, and I'll be reading my memoir piece, Worst Mini Golf Game Ever. There's something fun about needing your 21-year-old cousin to help you go to the bathroom in a rundown, greasy Chinese restaurant while your grandma watches, and I promise I wasn't drunk. It's not a lie or exaggerated beyond reality. This is a true story, and one I am not proud of in the slightest. It all happened the summer of my junior year. My parents were going on vacation for a week, and being the annoying brat I wasn't allowed to go with them. Instead, I was left at my grandparents' house in the suburbs outside of Philadelphia. It wasn't entirely horrible, though. My cousins lived less than 10 minutes away, and I could visit them whenever I wanted. My youngest cousin, Seth, was 18 at the time, and he just graduated high school. So to celebrate, his parents threw him a surprise graduation party with all of his friends and family. Conveniently, the party overlapped with the week I was staying with my grandparents, so I could attend. The party was a blast with enough food to fill a small village. Since it was vacation and I felt I deserved the cheat day, I binged on delicious fatty foods all day. Pizza blanket, mini sliders, fruit kebabs, chips and dips. Anything you could imagine was there. I ate until I physically couldn't eat anymore. The food was so appetizing, but I knew I was about to pay the price. My older 21-year-old cousin, Jaron, who's Seth's brother, was also at the party and invited me to sleep over afterwards. I spent the night passed out on a futon in their living room. Unfortunately, I was up early, getting barely over 5 hours of sleep because their dog woke me up with a slew of kisses. This wouldn't have been horrible if I can go back to my grandparents' house afterwards, but we had plans that day. Jared, Seth, and my grandma, Jared, Seth, my grandma, and I all planned to go to a mini golf, and the loser had to pay for lunch. Before I continue, let me give you a little background. Seth is 6 feet 2 inches, 250 pounds. Jared, 6 foot 4 inches, 270 pounds. These people could eat a truck and still be hungry. On top of that, they are extremely competitive. I couldn't weasel my way out of the competition, and there was no way I wanted to pay for that monster-sized lunch. So, I downed a cup of coffee and began trash-talking my cousins, waiting for my grandma to pick us up. The first sign that something was wrong was in the car ride to the mini golf place. All the food I ate the day before began to get its vengeance, sending a searing pain into the side of my stomach. Pushed it aside, I couldn't back out now, I would look like a total wuss. So as we got out of the car, I realized just how hot it was. 91 degrees in the shade. My cousins and grandma didn't seem to care that much, but my sleep-deprived self forgot to bring any water or a hat. The sun had a field day, bombarding me with rays of searing heat. The first couple holes went alright, but around the fourth or fifth hole, I felt the next shot of pain in my stomach. This one was much worse than the previous one, but again, I had a mini golf game to win. As we progressed, the pain became more and more frequent and exponentially worse. The entire time, though, I hid the fact that anything was wrong to my cousins and grandma. By the time we reached the 18th hole, however, it was unbearable. I was down by 1 point, and I needed to do well in this hole to make sure I didn't have to pay for lunch. As I got up, everything went back. Black. Sorry. The final shot of pain seared up the side of my stomach, reaching every bone and muscle in my body. I was overcome with heat, sweating profusely from every part of my body. The world became black and I lost my vision. Unable to stand on my own, I stumbled back, falling onto a bush on the side of the course. My family rushed to my aid, asking me, "What's wrong?" and "Are you okay?" After a couple minutes, I was able to see again. I drank some water and felt much better. I felt strong enough to get back up, but that was a huge mistake. As I stood up, I felt another rush of pain. This one was different, though. To spare any gross details, I needed to go to the bathroom. I wasn't strong enough to get up on my own, so Jared helped me walk to the Chinese restaurant right next door to see if they had a bathroom. That walk was miserable. Pain shot rapidly through my body as my vision began to go black again. By the time we got to the Chinese restaurant, my vision was entirely black again. I was unable to find the bathroom on my own, so Jared had to help me locate the toilet. As this went down, my grandma, being worried sick, was watching me in the bathroom while calling 911 to get an ambulance to pick me up. After going to the bathroom and finishing 2 bottles of water, I felt much better. I was able to walk around again without blacking out, and the pain was entirely gone. I persistently was trying to convince my cousins and grandma that I was okay and could finish the game of mini golf, but they wouldn't let me. Eventually, the ambulance came and took me to the hospital, while my grandma and cousins followed behind in the car. The doctor said I needed a blood test just to make sure I was healthy, And so after poking me with needles and sensors, I waited 3 hours with my cousins and grandma for the results to come back. I was starving, but I wasn't allowed to eat or drink anything because water and besides water, because anything else could mess with the sensors or something. Finally, the doctors came back after a grueling wait to say I simply suffered from heat exhaustion and I was all right to go home. I went home, and I've been sure to bring a bottle of water with me every time since.